questions, you guys? So I'm going to do number 16 here for you guys. All right, so in this case, it says use the hinge theorem or the converse to be able to figure out the range of values that works for x. So you guys recall the hinge theorem talks about if we have two equal sides, the angle between them depends on the side that's across from it. So this side and angle have a relationship. So since this one is bigger, 15 is bigger than 13, 66 has to be bigger than 2x plus 5. So we can set up an inequality to show that. So 2x plus 5 has to be less than 66 because 13 is less than 15. So move the 5 over. So 2x is less than 61. And then we divide by 2. So x has to be less than 30.5, I believe. That's hopefully what I had. So again, the hinge theorem is kind of common sense, but at the same time, it's like, really, can we just set that inequality up, and that's all we needed to do in a problem like that. All right, other questions? So what we're going to do today is we're going to review for the test. I'm hoping we can test tomorrow, but honestly, if we don't feel completely ready, or especially those of you guys who have been gone, another day of review would be helpful. I'm willing to make that happen. Now, we're tight on time. I'll be perfectly honest, we are not getting through as much material as we get through in other years, given the virtual days and stuff like that. And Friday, just in case you're unaware, or I think I mentioned it a little bit, we have a makeup day on Friday. What that is, if you're behind on work, you are going to be required to meet with the teacher in the morning virtually. And then if you're caught up, you're off on Friday altogether. Now, that would be a great day that if you're not feeling ready for this test, we could do the makeup that day, if it was just a couple of you guys that said that. Or maybe once we could take the test tomorrow, and Friday could be a day to get help and do corrections and maybe even do a retake. So it's worth thinking about Friday, kind of using it that way. I prefer to test tomorrow, but again, if you guys aren't feeling completely ready, we can decide on that. So again, Friday, technically they're on a 4-day week, but Friday is dependent on you. So make sure you're staying on top of stuff with your classes and or getting caught up. I'm guessing by Wednesday, they're gonna ask us for names on who needs to be here and who doesn't, kind of on those final exam days. Okay, so yeah, if you're up to date and you're doing well in your classes, your teachers probably are not going to ask you to be here. Now, if you're failing your class but you have all your grades in, your teacher could ask for you guys to be in that virtual time. I mean, no one in here is doing horribly, so we're okay, but just heads up on that. Okay, let me give you guys your review. We're going to do a class here today. I apologize, some of the copies turned out a little bit bad the photo, and so it didn't turn out as well as I would like. So I do have an enlarged version of the problem. So I made it extra big. One in here that's really hard to read. There's a few that are hard to read, but this one was especially bad. I'll pass out the notes the way they are, and then I'll. So again, the plan is to test tomorrow. Like I said, we can see how things go. Maybe just being here and just like reviewing it, you'll feel better. Maybe, I mean, like I was talking with Abby, and she's, I think, just is feeling uncertain about things, and so it's hard to learn online. I know it is. So I can always give you guys more time, but I also don't want to just take more time to take more time. So one of the problems, especially, is really tough to read. So that's why I made this bigger version of it. So it's not much better. I need to just draw it, but. And then those of you guys who are gone, we did make a charting class, and I didn't know if everyone was able to print that off or if you guys did that. I do have a finished chart if you're interested. Let me grab that. So those of you who are virtual, do any of you guys need this chart? Or did you guys all draw it out, or do you guys need it? You want it? That's fine. I didn't know, I didn't attach it in the right spot, and I a little delayed on it. Or even those guys who are here and need it. Gabby, you got one now, or you
I did it, yeah.
Tyler, did you need it? Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Everyone got it? Even those of you guys who were here, did you lost it? Again, I told you guys over the weekend, this would be a great thing to look over, study, kind of be comfortable with those different vocab words. So those of you guys online, I will post a like finished version today. I gotta work myself into it. Okay, so I'm gonna open up our notes for today. This might be our last day to like even go outside, so I'd say we maybe go outside as our break today, because this might be the last day for like months. I don't know. I think tomorrow's supposed to get bad, right? Is that what it is? Tomorrow? I know Wednesday for sure.
Wednesday for sure.
I know tomorrow, like halfway through the day, it's gonna be one of those like where all of a sudden the wind changes and it like drops like 30 degrees, you know?
Oh,
So-
tomorrow's raining.
Oh yeah,
It's gonna be 66, but raining.
yeah. And we have a test tomorrow, anyway, hopefully. So again, my plan is to test on Tuesday. If like again, if we go through this and you're absolutely like terrified to test, we can talk about it. We'll figure it out. Like I said, maybe some of you guys can just wait to test till Friday. You could do it Friday virtually. We'll kind of figure things out. Otherwise, I'd really love for us to be able to test tomorrow. So in 5.1, we learned about the mid-segment. So, and again, on your chart, this is our first thing we've written down. So the mid-segment's the one where it's the midpoint of each side. And then it's parallel to the opposite side, and also it's half of the opposite side. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that's equal in this case, but they tell us that MO, so MO is 4A minus 1. And then they tell me XZ is 5A plus 4. So what's the relationship between those two? It's the midpoint. What do we know about those? Yeah, Abby? Yep, so she said this one's double that one, so she's gonna multiply this one by 2 to get that one. You can also do half of this one to get that, or no, sorry, half of this one to get that. Wait, I said that wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry, thank you for, I caught myself, but I saw if you guys look at each other. So this one doubled should give us this. Or you can take half of that one, but taking half of 5a plus 4 is not nice. So what we're gonna do is double this one. So 2 times 4a minus 1, and it should equal 5a plus 4. Because it's the mid-segment, it's half of the side it's parallel to. So those lines are parallel, but they also have that relationship. So we're going to solve this for a. I might move the 5a. So 3a equals 6. Divide by 3. So find out a is 2. Now careful though, they're asking me for y. They asked me for yb, there is no yb, I don't know what they're asking me for. What if they asked me for zn? So let's change this up. What would zn be? So if I asked you for zn here. What would zn be? Yeah, it'd be 7. How'd you get that? Which one did you put it in for?
5
Okay, so you figured out that this whole thing would be 14, right? So this would be 14, and so to figure this out would take half of that to figure out that 7. You could also put it in here because you know this one is half. So these are all equal, like knowing that as well. All right, questions there? So problem like that involving mid-segment. So something having to do along those lines. In 5.2 is where we talked about medians, I believe. No, perpendicular. What do we talk about in 5.2? Sorry. 5.2 was perpendicular bisectors. So perpendicular bisectors. Now, the name gives it away. Perpendicular bisectors technically should be the easiest one to know what it is because of the name. It tells us it has to be both perpendicular and it has to bisect. Now, there's not many other ones that have 2 different things like that. So you have to watch out. It has to do both things. So again, it has to be both perpendicular and it has to bisect, which in this case it does. So in this case, BD would be a perpendicular bisector. So they want the length of CD in this case. This one's pretty straightforward. It's already marked for us. So we have this marked here. So 4x equals 2x plus 4. And again, we're going to find out x is 2. Once we know x is 2 to find CD, we just have to substitute that back in. And so it ends up being 8. Now this next problem is the one I gave you a bigger version of it. So it kind of blew it up for you a little bit more. Like I said, I probably just need to take the time to redraw it. I'm a little too lazy to do that, sorry. Those of you guys online, you're probably going to have to like enlarge this for yourself or make sure you guys have that open. guys can figure out. So this is perpendicular bisectors, all intersecting in one spot. And it wants us to find out all these missing pieces. That's not much better. I guess I'm gonna have to turn the lights back down, sorry. I think the number that's hard to read is the decimal. Is that 26.8 or something like that? I think so. 26.8, that one there, it's kind of hard to read. So this one's 26, 26.8, this is 22. So if we know these are perpendicular bisectors, we should be able to find a lot of these different lengths. Take a minute, oh, there's 20 up there as well. All right, let me know if you guys know any of these distances. What do you guys know? So what do you got?
I got MO and 26.
Yeah, so very good. So MO is 26.8. Where the perpendicular bisectors meet, this point O, it's the same distance to all the vertices. So this is also going to be 26.8. And then if they asked us, which I don't think they asked us, PO, this distance would also be 26.8. So all the distances from the vertex to that center is going to be 26.8. All right, somebody else give me another one. What else do you guys know? Yeah, go ahead, Ellen.
PR is 26.
PR is also 26. Because this is a bisector, that means that's also 26. Very good. Somebody else help us out, sorry. Yeah.
M is 40.
MN is 40, okay. So all the way across, it's going to be 40 because, again, bisect. So this is 20, so 40. Okay. SP, we seem to be going in order. Yeah, go ahead. 22, again, bisector. All right, QN. Oh, we already figured out QN, hey? That's 20. Oh, and then MP, pretty easy, right? 44. Now, we could actually find some of these other distances using the Pythagorean theorem. I didn't put the Pythagorean theorem at all on the test. We've talked about it and used it, but I didn't put it on the test at all. So asking you guys what OR is on the test, you could figure that out, but I don't need you guys to do that right now. We're gonna do Pythagorean theorem probably more times than you've ever wanted to do later, so we'll wait on that. So just a heads up, Pythagorean theorem won't be necessary in the test. Hopefully you can figure it out without that then. All right, so let's go back to 5.3 is where we talked about angle bisectors. So angle bisectors could look like either of these two drawings. Both of these are examples of angle bisectors. And for the top two, and we should be able to solve for each of those. Why don't you guys take a few minutes to solve for X in that example, the ones that say 1 and 2. And then the next one's asking us if we have enough information to know that it's a bisector. So look at those next few problems. Let me know if you can't read something. Copy is not the best. Right. Yes. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Right. I he wasn't on the list, she said this about, like, parent choice. Oh, yeah, no, right, no, you're right. No, that. Because actually Mike said to me, he's like, that's really clear that they put that, yeah, no, yes, yes. No, not at all. All right, so we should be able to find x in each of these places. So the angle bisector tells us that if these two angles are equal, then these two distances have to be the same. So we're able to set those two equal. There's a lot of setting equal in this chapter if you haven't kind of caught on to that already. It's kind of all we do. Just trying to figure out which part tells us it's equal. So I have 3x plus 9 equals 27. I'm going to move the 9 over. So 3x is going to equal 18. So x will be 6. What you guys got for number 1 there? And then the same thing in this one. If we have those lines marked and there's perpendicular lines, we know these angles have to be equal. So 8x minus 63 has to equal 4x minus 27. So x ends up being 9. All right, so then it asks us about whether or not we can know that these are angle bisectors. Do we have enough information? They kind of look like the same drawing. So if one is, then don't you think the other one is? What's the issue here? What's one missing? Yeah.
4, there's nothing telling us that it's equal.
Yeah, there's nothing telling us anything's equal in number 4. Either they would have to have the angles marked, or they'd have to have this marked, and they don't have either of those. Okay. So they don't have either of those, so this one is no. Because we need one of those marks. And then how about number 5? The angles aren't marked, but do we have enough information? Yeah, because this time we have both of these. Now, had they not given us, like, had they just done this, is that enough information? What's missing from this one? Yeah, the 90-degree angle. So this one would be yes. If this one was a case, that would be no. They need to give you more information. So angle bisector, they need that other information. All right, maybe let's do one more. Let's do 5-4 and then we'll take a break, okay? So let's go to 5-4. So they tell us a centroid. When you hear the word centroid, this is probably the only one I really want you to know the name of. Does anyone remember what's special about the centroid? Yeah. Yeah, it's you. Yeah.
The 2/3, 1/3.
Yeah, anytime you see the word centroid, you should be thinking about the 2/3, 1/3. So this is medians, and centroid is 2/3, 1/3. So anytime you see that, that should be one of those where you're like, I know there's that rule with this one. Kind of same thing with mid-segment, there's the 1/2 rule. So the word centroid should trigger that there's going to be 2/3 and 1/3. I do want to remind you guys with median, all a median needs to do is it needs to connect to the opposite side and be congruent. So this, it doesn't have to be perpendicular. All it does is it has to like bisect that other side, only one side. So that's what the median looks like. So in this drawing here, they give us 8 and 10, but if you notice, they also give us CD is 18. So they give us this distance is 18. So all the way across, well, that's kind of hard to see there. I might draw it off to the side. So they tell me CD is 18. Let's actually start with CD. I know that whole thing is 18. Tell me what CG and GD are. Yeah, Ellen?
DG is 60, DC is 1.
Yeah, so remember that the short part is the 1/3. So 1/3 of 8 is 18 is 6. And then this one is going to be the leftover, which 18 minus 6 is 12. Or you can double 6 to get 12. So we get 6 and 12 for those. So there will be a problem almost identical to this one on there. The tough part is it has 6 questions, so it might be 6 points. So like centroid 2/3 is so important, don't miss that. All right, next one here. They ask about BD. What do you guys think for BD? Yes, Dawn?
One.
BD?
Yeah.
You gonna look again? I don't know if you're. You say 9?
Yeah. Oh, is that 8?
Yeah, sorry. Oh, yeah, your copy's worse than mine. Sorry.
I'm at 8.
No, that should be. Where's not? I was totally trying to figure out where that came from. Sorry. So the copy didn't show up very well. So that should be 8. So this is also 8. It was such a weird number that I couldn't figure out where you would get that from. All right. So then AB is going to be 16. And again, we know that that's going to be the same length because of the fact that this is a median. It bisects that opposite side. All right, and then the last one here is asking about EG and AE. So this line and then the shorter part. You guys know about that. So you know EG, or let you redeem yourself on this one, yeah. EG is 5. Because if it's a 2/3, 1/3 thing, 1/3 is half at 2/3. So if this is the 2/3 part, that one's going to be half. And then the whole thing is going to be 15. That makes sense? All right, we're going to take a break. So we'll go outside. Those of you guys online, this will be part 1.